bunch of announcements and I need to get them out properly. 1, if you want to add a student to Redhurst Academy of Wizards, you simply have to send us a name and your course selection. Link in the description below to take a look at the courses. 2, if you want to know, we are streaming Redhurst Academy of Wizards at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. And also tomorrow, we're streaming Fallout Equestria at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 3, this video, we're shooting for 40 likes this time. We were only shooting for 25 last time, and you guys nearly hit 50. So let's see if we can hit 40. Let's see if we can make 40 a consistent thing. And 3, remember, this channel is completely supported by viewers like you. I have no YouTube advertisements. Patreon helps out a ton. If you can drop $1, I fully appreciate it. Now, on with the video. So this episode is going to teach people character setup, anticipation, and payoff. Action and consequence, both as a GM and as players in a party. GM, how the heck do you get all these characters together who are completely different and have absolutely nothing in common with each other at the start of your game? And 4, when to metagame. So, keeping those 4 things in mind, let's get started. Immediately out the gate, this is less than 5 minutes after character introductions. I want to emphasize this. This is less than 5 minutes after character introductions. This happens.
Go around for the biggest and the strongest man or student in the kind of the entry area.
You look around. You see, Zach, what's Gorgug doing? He's the tallest person here.
I'm holding a metal flower. I'm like, just looking for a friend.
I walk straight up to Gorgug and I say, "Hey, how you doing, buddy?"
I'm good. It's my first day. I guess it's everyone's first day.
Oh, it's your first day.
Do you want this metal flower?
I swing and hit him as fucking hard as I possibly fucking can.
Everybody pause. Let's go back to the last episode with Fabian's introduction. And we will understand why this is significant. And then I will show you action and consequence. So right now, we have character setup and anticipation. Now we're going to see the payoff.
Day of school, all right? Now, I never had much in the way of book learning. Never was raised in no school of any kind. So, here's what you do on your first day, all right? I've asked around. You find the biggest and meanest man there.
Yes, ma'am.
You go up to him and you drive your fist hard and strong right into his stomach and send him to his knees.
Yes, Papa. That's what I'll do. Just like you would have done if you ever went to school.
That's right, my son.
Now, this is going to be important later. But here, with getting slugged in the gut, is where we're at. He has set up the action. Go slug the biggest guy in school in the stomach on day 1. Fabian has performed the action. Now, every time a player does an action in which other NPCs and player characters are involved, there are a series of consequences. What we're talking about in this episode is short-term consequences. Things that immediately happen because player 1 did X. So, let's take a look at what immediately happens and then see how they deal with the repercussions.
I'm walking into the room, I'm like, oh my god, this is what this school is?
Go ahead and roll an attack roll.
Great. 15.
What's your AC?
My AC is 13.
You slug him. What's your strength modifier?
It's 2.
You take 3 points of damage.
And then I turn and I say, "I'm Fabian Seacaster, son of Bill Seacaster, and I'm here to be great."
Notice something important about this. 1, the GM allows it because Players should be allowed to do whatever players do. The GM is there to play the world around them, not make them do certain things. 2, they're all laughing. We just had PvP as the very first thing that happens when this party starts to get together is a PvP encounter. They're laughing. It's very important to remember to laugh. And part of the consequence of actions of players should be laughter. Now we're going to continue with the scene, and we're going to see what happens as immediate consequences to the action beyond laughter at the table.
I'm trying to sing that song. If you're mad.
I run up. I run up.
If you're mad.
Hey, are you okay? What happened?
That guy punched me.
That sucks. You seem really non-violent. I think that's really cool. Violence is never the answer.
I go into a rage.
Awesome. What do you?
I go into a rage and I attack. I go to punch.
Go for it. Roll an attack roll.
Oh.
19?
What's your AC?
16.
And you're in a rage, right?
Yes.
So that's going to deal 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6 points of damage to you. You fucking... yeah, Gorgug whips up and fucking clocks you.
Wait, no, violence isn't the answer.
So, we have metagame reaction. Metagame reaction is the laughter. That's the first immediate consequence. The second immediate consequence is retaliation. Anytime players take an aggressive action and they do not destroy or kill the target, even if they do destroy or kill the target, there should be consequences. Whether that consequence be they get gold and rewards, or, they get thrown out of town. But in this case, the other person just turns around and does what the other person would do. How often punch the living crap out of him and do a lot more damage. So, how does this play out later? Well, we'll see. But there's more immediate consequences, because this is just the player-on-player consequences between our lovely, lovely human priest, cleric, and our elf fencer and our barbarian half-orc death machine. We're going to see what happens with the rest of the world now, how the world reacts to them two getting in a fight on the first day of school.
Is this creating like a commotion?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of kids. You guys
Are
see
there people in the? Are the teachers all around?
You see, there's this one kid who looks like a gnome with like that long, kind of like stoner hair, who's like, "Oh fuck, fight, 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 fight!" Kids start going fucking crazy.
I'm gonna sneak into the teachers' lounge while there's a commotion and steal from the refrigerator.
You sneak in. You guys see that wading through the crowd of students is this hulking dragonborn. Right? For those who don't know what dragonborn is, humanoid dragons, a long tail, no wings, these big claws, wearing a full suit, like a gray suit and a blue tie, big horns sweeping off of like this. He's like red-scaled anthropomorphic dragon guy. You see, he's holding just a straight-up cricket bat in his hands, and he walks up and goes, all right, that's enough. And on day one, the bell hasn't even rung yet. Effortlessly hoists you two up off the ground, sheathing his cricket bat before he does so, and goes, now look here, what are you, freshmen? Why did this even start?
Well,
I don't know. You hit me.
well, I had to let this one know that I wasn't going to take any of his shit.
Shit, it looks like he's holding a flower.
Hey, the greatest attackers sometimes put up a facade that they might sneak their way. I don't need to explain myself to you. I'm Fabian Seacaster.
You 100% need to explain yourself to me. I am Vice Principal Golden Horde.
I'm sorry I got mad at you. You can still have the flower if you want.
Don't give him the
I mean, has earned a praying.
He has absolutely not earned any congeniality from you at all.
I hit him too, so
You hit him?
we're even.
All right. That's immediate detention for both of you. First day after school.
Now, everyone noticed the GM's facial expression. His initial plan to get the characters together is shot because 2 of them are going to detention. He's got to come up with a new plan. But the world has to react. What happens when kids get into a fight at school? They get sent to detention. That's how that works. We've also now introduced the vice principal NPC, Golden Horde. There was something very important about Golden Horde that you should have noticed. And I like the fact that this GM plays the innocent creature you found, or authority creature that looks like it's supposed to be there, is in fact the most important thing you should have been paying attention to begin with. It's much like Yoda or Jar Jar Binks or a whole host of characters that I could list off, where you find something on the side of the road that looks innocent, and in fact it's either the evil incarnate itself that you need to kill, or it's the one master wizard who's going to save your ass. Looking at that Dragonborn, if you know anything about Dragonborn, you should know something's wrong with it. Something very important, and I'll show you. I'll scroll back to the image. I don't remember exactly where he is.
Effortlessly hoists you.
It's almost there. I'm going to scroll back to his little...
Hulking Dragonborn. Right? For those who don't know what Dragonborn is, humanoid.
What's wrong with this Dragonborn? Here's the image. Here's Vice Principal Golden Horde. Now you tell me what's wrong with him. When you figure it out, like in the comments below, let us all know. So, we're going to scroll over. Now, they've been sent to detention, and Fig has stated she's going to go steal from the teachers. So, let's see how a first level bard has consequences for trying to steal from the teacher's lounge.
I don't know if that's really a skill I have. Whew, okay. I got a nat 1.
You're all just instantly in so much trouble.
You walk into the teacher's lounge. You are in there for what do you steal as you go in there? So this is like little.
I'm just going through the fridge, seeing what kind of food there is. Ugh, elf food.
You see
elf
that there
food.
is a
God.
you see that there is a little Tupperware container with a transparent steak in it. You can just like partially like see-through or like ethereal, and you see it says ghost steak. Please do not eat for Ghost Professor.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat that. I take the ghost steak and I just start eating it.
You have a very fucking hard time grabbing it.
Fuck. Fuck.
You see the door opens and this vice principal guy walks in and goes, okay, immediate detention. We are 3 for 3, and I'm about to ring the first bell.
The crazy thing is...
So, literally, the GM now has the idea of how he's going to get the party together. He has to get them all sent to detention. Period. The consequence of their actions today need to be they all go to detention. He knows that's how he knows that's how he's now going to get the party together. And again, action and consequence. PC tries to steal, rolls a nat 1 on stealth, immediately gets caught, is being sent to detention. Now we're going to find out just how stupid of a teenager Fig can make herself look like, and how this plays into characterization later.
You're just playing into my hand. Welcome to my game. You just did exactly what I wanted you to do.
I don't know you, right? This is baffling.
I know. That's why I was able to two-step around you.
Describe your two-step to me. How have you bamboozled me in this moment? Walk me through how you've bamboozled me.
All right. My plan all along was to get caught so I would get kicked out. And you are just scooting me along. I put my combat boots up on the table. What's the deal with that steak? I can't pick it up.
Right, it's for ghosts. That's ghost food. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't think you fully know what detention means. You're not suspended.
Do you recognize me?
See, looks at you and says,
So, this is stupid, silly, important, but Fig is staying in character. Fig is being the rebellious 14-year-old who thinks that she knows everything, literally smoking in front of the vice principal, and pretending like this whole situation is perfectly fine, the fact that she has been caught in the teacher's lounge trying to steal the ghost professor's lunch. All of this is going to come back to bite her in the ass later, but more importantly, the relationship and characterization here has a long-term consequence, because Fig's relationship to Vice Principal Goldenhorde is forever altered, and is going to be built from this moment onward as Vice Goldenhorde trying to figure out how Fig is trying to manipulate him into doing stuff. Also, Fig tries to seduce? Not really seduce, that's not the word I'm looking for. Make it appear as though she's been seduced by Goldenhorde, but in fact is just trying to get him to be embarrassed and act out or overreact to her shenanigans. That's how this plays out.
no.
Because last year, I was on the cheer squad. I was one of the girls that they used to throw up into the sky because I was so teeny tiny and cute.
I shouldn't be having a conversation with you alone in the teacher's lounge. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Okay,
Go.
I'll leave.
All right,
Bye.
good.
Bye. What's your
are-
name again?
I'm Vice Principal Goldenhorde.
Okay.
Good grief.
It's kind of cute.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Get out. You see, he shoos you out of the
Or maybe that's part of my plan too.
shuts the door. The rest of you guys walk through.
That last moment there, I played that for you guys. So you understand the type of relationship that actually exists here. And moving forward, this is the relationship that the GM is going to have to deal with. Every time Vice Principal Goldenhorde sees Fig, this is what the two of them are going to go through. And it's going to be this song and dance where Goldenhorde knows Fig is up to something, Goldenhorde can't investigate too far, or Fig is going to start screaming that Goldenhorde is hitting on her. Rinse and repeat. And it is an entertaining relationship every time it comes up. Every D&D game is a sitcom. The sitcom actors just so happen to have hammers and can throw fireballs. Now the GM has to further figure out how to get the players together. And the next actions, he's going to be manipulating the players into getting on the railroad.
Closes it over a little restricted section, and you see that there is a book lying on a little table right near the entrance of the restricted section.
Is it light enough that I can use Mage Hand?
You make an investigation check to try to clock the weight of the object at this distance.
16?
Yeah, for sure.
Great, I cast Mage Hand as her back is turned. And I take the book.
The book zips from the restricted section of the library. The book that now rests in your hand is titled Wards and Watches, and it's an abjuration book. It looks like a very powerful abjuration book.
Great, I very quickly put it in my backpack and then I panic because I'm like, why am I doing this? Nobody can see me do this. My stupid sister just told me to do this and I don't know why I'm doing it. And now I have a book that I've
Now the GM has further manipulated the characters. Every action we see in this first episode is going to have lasting consequences for the rest of the game. That book is more important than she knows right now, and she won't know how important it is until the very end. In the meantime, though, the GM has manipulated 3 characters into detention, and now probably a 4th. That leaves 2 more that need to find their way to detention. But I want to emphasize this. Everything that happens in this first episode after character introductions has lasting consequences for the rest of the game.
You go into a full-blown panic attack.
Shit.
I come up.
You walk up in the hallway, yeah.
Hey, are you okay?
I saw.
Now remember when I said we were going to teach you guys when to metagame? That right there was metagaming. It's very subtle, it's not overt, and this is a good opportunity to metagame because it bails a character out of a dead end. Anytime that you need to get the characters together for some reason, or you need to bail a character out of a dead end, is an okay time to metagame. Your metagame must be very, very subtle, though. It must be something plausible that does not break the fourth wall. The cleric walking up right now is very plausible. And in fact, is the way to bail this character out of a potential dead end, because all she can do during a panic attack is sit there and panic. She can't interact with other people who don't interact with her. This fixes the problem.
What you did, and I thought it was pretty awesome.
Oh God, no, the goth kid thinks I'm cool.
That was so cool.
Oh, I like your giant orb. Here, let me make it glow. I cast light on her giant orb.
You are now glowing in the middle of a crowd of children. You see that Vice Principal Golden Horde walks up and goes, "Very nice use of a light cantrip. What is your name, young student?"
Oh, I'm Kristen Applebee's.
Kristen Applebee's. Wonderful to meet you. I'm Vice Principal Golden Horde.
Oh, hi.
Young lady, are you all right?
I found this book.
You found it?
I found books.
Make a bluff check for me with disadvantage.
What's
You roll 2d20 and take the worst result.
Okay, great.
Notice how the GM quickly explained how to do disadvantage. Remember, no one at this table has played D&D before. He just had to simply look over and go, oh, you just roll 2d20 and take the lower one. You don't take this big, long explanation. You just need to give them the very basics. But there's one thing the GM did there that I don't like. When you cite a rule to another player, cite the book and page it's in. Even if it takes an extra 5 minutes, I get that they're doing a show right now, but for you guys' purposes, if someone has to have a rule explained, first tell them what the rule is, at least how you're going to interpret it. Then tell them page and book to look it up in. Alright, now we're going to see how this plays out. And how this plays out has lasting consequences for the campaign itself and the characters.
Oh my God, a 20 and a 2. It's just a 2.
It's just a 2, I'm afraid.
Wow.
You see that Vice Principal says, "Sorry, you found a book?"
She's covering for me. I stole it, and she caught me
No, I
stealing
didn't.
it.
I didn't. She didn't steal. I stole it. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm new. I don't know what I'm doing.
We all fall short of the grace of God.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's a bit strong for this, I would say. That's a bit strong. This is not appropriate that you've done this. Kristen, would you mind taking the book to Principal Igforth's office for me?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, take the book. You see that he looks at you and says, now, young lady, what is your name?
Adine Abinant.
Miss Abinant. Oh, yes, you've come to us from Hudon. I'm afraid I'm going to have to give you detention. So, you'll be staying late after school today. Do you understand? All right.
Now, detention. Awesome. He's got 4 characters in detention after school. So he's got 4 out of the 6 party members together. He needs to figure out the hook that is going to link them together as a party, and he needs to figure out how to get the other 2 in the room. How he gets the other two in the room is, again, playing to their characters. So, the elf sister told her to steal the book. Fabian was told to just go up and punch someone. Barbarian raged back and punched Fabian back. 3 in detention. Fig is being a rebellious teenager, and he didn't have to do anything special for her. She did it on her own. Now the GM has created his alternative plan to get them all in detention. How is he going to get Riz and Appleby into detention? Especially a goody two-shoe like Appleby. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to look at the action and consequence of what Riz does, as well as how you get a character who's technically lawful good into detention. But also, how to get Appleby, how should I describe this? To metagame just a little bit again. A much more significant metagame, if you will.
I fucking know, Sam, but now we need to talk about what happens next. And the door closes.
Are any of these guys around?
Nope, not that you can see.
I guess oh boy. Riz runs to try to find a girl to help him.
Make an investigation check.
Cool. 18.
Cool. Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 21.
Awesome. Cool. You see that there's this extremely bejeweled dwarven girl. She's got like little sort of sideburns that go down to these like little wispy strands, jewelry everywhere. She's like.
So this does kind of half answer the question: do dwarf females have beards? She's got stubble. I'm fucking with all of you, of course. But this is important. Riz has to get to detention. How the GM does it now is by giving Riz that hint of that investigation that he's after. He teases at it, he picks at it, he makes Riz start running around thinking he's going to get a clue. But he's not giving him the clue. He's just giving him the hook with no bait. And Riz took the hook, line, and sinker anyway. This is going to have a lasting consequence because the GM has now created an NPC who is friendly to Riz, who is going to do stuff for Riz now and later.
Hanging out with some friends near the water fountain as you approach her.
Okay, so you've got a lot of jewels, and I can tell that you like stuff. I will give you my freaking briefcase if you'll go into that changing room and tell me what those girls are saying. I think one of them has a crush on one of my friends.
You see, she says, "Your briefcase?"
Okay, what do you want? What do you want?
You see that she says, "I don't know, like, give me 20 gold pieces."
Okay. What if is there anything from the school you want? I'll take something for you.
She says, "Okay, yeah. Steal me like a tea bag of that gross tea that Principal Eggford is always drinking."
Yeah, sure. Okay, will you go in there now?
Go give me the tea bag.
Fine, okay.
Riz has just been manipulated into going to detention. Period, end of story. He is very gullible. He's playing the character very gullibly. And this is going to play out exactly how you think it is.
I run off to go find a tea bag.
Cool. You find Principal Eggfort's office. Go ahead and tell me how you're getting in. The door is locked.
I guess I'll try to unlock it.
Cool.
I guess what skill would that be? Like sleight of hand or?
Yeah, make a perception and make a sleight of hand.
Okay.
It actually is a tool proficiency, but I think you have.
Okay. So I did bad on whatever that was. Perception of 4.
Cool. 4 is
So
bad.
it's a door. Great.
Cool.
It's a door.
And then roll again.
Okay. Oh boy. Sleight of hand 7.
You mess with the door, and the door actually opens.
Sweet. I look for his tea.
You walk in and see Vice Principal Goldenhorde. Immediate detention! All right, look at that. Wild. We're up to 5 on day 1. At least yours happened during the day. That's good. All right.
I run and try to grab his tea while he's drinking it.
You see, he looks at you.
So, GM has got 5 out of 6 characters to detention. No questions asked. Immediate consequence is resolved. More importantly, Golden Horde now looks at the party as a group who is going to cause mischief. From here on out, they are always going to be under his watchful eye to some degree, because they've all been noticed by him. That plays into the story in depth. They've all been noticed by Golden Horde. Vice Principal is always going to be looking over their shoulder now, regardless if they do good or bad by the end of the day. Their actions have had both long-term and short-term consequences. They're all going to detention. The GM has figured out how to get the group to meet up by putting them all, despite all of their different character paths. Fig wanted to go steal stuff from the teacher's lounge. Fabian was just going to go up and slug somebody, and then he was going to go get onto the Blood Rush team. But GM doesn't want anyone on the Blood Rush team because that's important for later. So literally, Fabian is off the Blood Rush team, and that's because of Fabian playing his character. Riz is going to detention, and the Vice Principal knows now that he can pick locks. He still has to get Appleby to detention. And Gorgug was just aimlessly looking for a friend, and now his only friend is the person who literally punched him in the stomach and then whose jaw he turned around and broke. This is the beginning of an adventuring party. You have gotten characters with vastly different motivations to all go to the same spot. They're all going to be forced to notice each other, and now he's got to give them the line. There's the hook, which is what the characters initially chase. There's the sinker, which is when the characters grab onto the hook and pull it. The line part is when the characters decide to stick together because the hook and the sinker were good enough to make the characters stay together. He's got to deliver these 3 parts to get the group together. Remember, I said we were going to go over action and consequence, as well as how to get a party together. And a little bit of improvisation. So they've been set up to know that they all have these different goals, and all these goals have been set up with anticipations. Now all their anticipation has had action, and all those actions have had consequences. The short term we see immediately. The long term, the GM is sitting here making little notes for later. Now, the GM has figured out how to get the characters together. He's figured out how to assemble them as an adventuring party. The last thing that we're going to go over is when to metagame.
Go ahead and...
No. That's just an echo chamber. I mean, we've all heard of that, right? No, I want to get out there, meet new people. That's the sound of chimes, baby, bouncing off each other, creating a beautiful noise.
Kristen, you see these 5 all being talked to by Golden Horde about how there's going to be lunch, and then after the afternoon classes, there's
I
going
want
to
to
be
go with the bad kids.
What? Kristen, you don't belong with the bad kids. You're a good kid. You went to church camp.
Exactly. You know how much...
That is a metagame. Flat out. Her character wanted to see the world. She didn't necessarily want to go with the bad kids. But they've all been the bad kids now, so the easiest way to get the party together? Throw the good character with the bad kids. And the GM doesn't just give it to her. He makes her earn it.
Yeast you need to make an entire loaf rise. It's a little pinch, and I can be that little pinch.
I don't think you're yeast, kiddo. I feel like you have more.
I think so.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Please, give me detention. If they're all going to detention, just give me detention, and then I can go in
Give
there.
you detention?
The other day I went
For
to a
what?
party, and I drained what looked like a bottle of vodka, but it was water. I keep putting water in alcohol things to fit in.
You want me to give you detention for not
I
drinking?
want not just to give me detention, I want you to yell right now and make a really big scene and make it seem like I did something terrible.
She's trying to, do what's called a one-upping. Player characters tend to do this at the table, where they one-up each other. One character walks up and punches somebody. Well, I rage and punch you back. Okay? Another character sneaks off and steals something. Well, I'm not just going to sneak off and steal something. I'm going to sneak off and steal it right out from in front of the principal and then run the hell away and get into worse trouble later. Every character at a table does this a little bit. Now she realizes if she wants to fit in with the bad kids and convince them that she's also a bad kid, she needs an adult to one-up them.
All right, everybody listen up. Kristen Applebee's bore false witness.
That's like a cardinal sin.
Yeah, well, you lied because you weren't drinking vodka, and you should always drink. I can't say this.
You could have said I stole, so you could have gone way. Could have been way easier than that.
Well, you don't like.
Bore false
You
witness.
bore false witness, and now you see, Vice Principal Goldenhorn looks over and says, "Coach, that's a religious rule. That's got almost nothing to do."
You heard the man. Sounds like I got detention.
You see, he hands the red card to you.
Ooh.
All right, kiddo.
Where do I even go with this? Hey, guys.
Now the GM has got the party together. He's got them all on the hook, and he's got the sinker planted to put them into the same room and make them have to interact. Now he's got to give them a reason to interact. He's got to pull the line that will make them all jump on the railroad. They've all been railroaded, by the way. Everyone there has been railroaded into detention. From the beginning, the GM has been subtly making them think it's their decision, which is what you want when you railroad people. You want them to think they made the decisions. You want them to believe that they had choice. When in fact, you've been pulling the strings. It's very hard to do this. It's very hard to learn how to make this work. But once you've learned how to make it work, you can truly look like the characters made all the decisions while you're being the master manipulator. This is part of the fun of being the GM, is making them believe they have the choice, then using their actions to create the consequence that you as the GM want and need for stuff to work. Now, let's get into the line that's going to make the party stick together.
A scream, a blood-curdling scream from down the hallway.
Mr. Gibbons whips his head around and looks. What do you guys do?
Riz takes off.
I follow.
I'll go.
Same.
I mean, I guess if everybody's going, we should go.
Now hold on, guys. Don't rush into anything.
I'm gonna go.
I just see them running, and I
guys-
think we're making a jailbreak.
You guys sprint. You run as fast as you can. The scream comes from the cafeteria.
Doreen!
You burst forward. The doors open. You look ahead of you, and flitting around the cafeteria are horrifying little shapes with long wings. You see corn gremlins, cobs of corn with malevolent eyes and wide mouths, tearing at the walls and ripping the banners. And far at the end of the cafeteria, you see Doreen, the lunch lady, with her back turned to you,
slowly gazing behind her shoulder, deep, sunken eyes, malevolent yellow, as spell energy, pulsating with arcane power, wraps around her ladle. Hey kids, it's lunchtime. Again, because we had lunch earlier. But bad lunch this time. As
I
a
feel like if you have
monster.
to
Pretty
explain
bad
the
last
joke,
time.
it's not a good joke.
It's a bad lunch. It's a bad lunch. A monstrous, pulsating mountain of creamed corn rises up, towering behind her. A colossal ooze begins to pseudopod its way forward. And I'm gonna need all of you guys to roll initiative.
For a start, the best way to start a fight is to say roll initiative. Second, that is how this party starts. Notice what the GM did, line for line, verbatim. He described the scene. They've already been in the lunchroom. Fig has a relationship mentioned earlier in the episode where she likes Doreen. And she spent time with Doreen learning how to be a lunch lady because she could. Now that NPC is under threat. Now they're all gathered together. And he doesn't just say corn gremlins and a creamed corn elemental. No. He describes the creatures. He describes Doreen with only 2 sentences. But that's important to GMs everywhere. You want to engross the party. In the monster manual, I'm actually going to bring one up for you. But in the monster manual, some people do refer to these, by the way, as the waifu catalog. I am informed. Don't refer to your monster manual as the waifu catalog. Please don't. But in the monster manual, there are these descriptions of monsters. If you are not terribly creative or terribly good at this yet, watch this. Every D&D monster manual has this. I'm going to go to the first creature. A Banshray, CR8. A willowy figure dressed in dark green feather finery approaches a lustrous top knot decorated with gold ornaments draped over its shoulder. Except for its golden insectile eyes, the creature's oval face is eerily featureless. Yet it raises a carved wooden flute to its chin and begins to play a haunting tune. That's 2 sentences. One of them's a run-on sentence, but it's 2 sentences. Accurately describes the creature. If you're not very good at describing creatures yet, there's these little intros in every D&D book. And just about every single game system I've ever played has this. It's just a little paragraph at most of what the creature looks like. Describe the critters. Seriously. Describe the critters. Don't just go, well, it's raiders, or it's or it's a sentry, but no, describe it in vivid details. Or use the in-book description if you're not creative enough to describe it yourself. And remember to keep your description to 2 to 3 sentences. Demon Thorn Mandrake. 3 sentences. Short, simple, and sweet. So, we've gone over character setup, anticipation, action, consequence. Game Master figuring out how to get the characters together. Game Master initiating combat as well as initiating the stakes of the combat. We know that Doreen's life is on the line. Let me go get a picture of Doreen for you. This character, who we've been introduced to no more than 30 minutes ago, their life's on the line. The player characters have made somewhat of a connection with about a 5-10 minute conversation, and now this character's life is on the line. It is up to them to save this character. More importantly, they are dealing with corn gremlins, which are a variant of literal gremlins or goblins, and a creamed corn elemental. There's 6 players. Why are they dealing with so much? D&D is designed around a 4-player party. The average goblin is like a CR4. Average gremlin is like a CR 1/4. Average goblin is a CR 1/4. If you have 6 player characters, 4 into 6 is 1.5. So if the creamed corn elemental is a CR1 and Doreen is a CR1 and the corn cuties are CR 1/4, this is an extremely challenging battle. And it's set up that way intentionally because the players have to feel like they are fighting desperately this entire time. Real fast, our goal this time is 40 likes. Let's see if you guys can make it happen. We had almost 50 last time. Let's see if we can hit 40. In the meantime, enjoy the video. But that's something for our next episode. If you guys want to see another episode of this, well, I need 30 likes. Actually, let's shoot for 40. I'm going to be ballsy here. Let's shoot for 40. Reason being is our previous episode, in character introductions, got 47. Let's see if we can hit 40 again. More importantly, the next episode, we're going to be going over the basics of combat, which I know you all want to see. So make sure you slap the like button. Seriously. And again, we are streaming at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Redhurst, Academy of Wizards. There's a link in the description below. If you want to set a reminder on Twitch, click the link. It'll take you to this little events page that's set up, and you can log into Twitch and hit set reminder, and Twitch will send you a reminder that we are streaming Redhurst Academy of Wizards. Furthermore, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're streaming Fallout Equestria. We've been streaming this for 19 months. This game has been going. It's really that good. It's good enough that I wrote a book, and I'm working on the second book. Lastly, thank these people. These people are awesome and amazing, and these are my current patrons. And every little bit they give helps out a ton. So if you want to become a patron, I would deeply appreciate it. Because again, we don't have ads. We have Patreon, we have Stream Tip, and we have Twitch bits. That's all I got. But it's to make sure you guys have a better experience by not having advertisements on my channel. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Assuming you can make sure this hits 40 likes.